Hey guys, Ellen Woodbridge here, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia. As always, I accidentally pressed go live as I was adjusting my little setup here, and of course my finger pressed it. But thank you so much for joining. Lovely, it's turning into a lovely Saturday afternoon here on the Central Coast. Sorry, just getting myself going live. If you are popping in, please say hi. If you're watching on the replay, please also say hi. So today I am here to play, because I don't think I've ever done this live, playing with a whole lot of Stampin' blends. And I have created, hey Elfie, thank you so much for joining. I have created some custom colours, because the colours that I'm using on my card don't exist in our Stampin' blends. So I had a bit of a play. I made this card way back in January originally when we had a blackout, and I showed some girls this the other weekend. Not using any pattern paper today. I've left that behind for a little bit, but I am making some team swaps for next month, and I'm using pattern paper because that's the theme, but I'm not sharing it with you today. Hey Karen, so glad you could come in live. I might just flick myself here so you can see the card and the stamp set when I show you. Flipping around, so we are using the Amazing Life stamp set, which I love, and this stamp set is actually bundled, and we're also using those today, and I'm losing them. They are bundled with the rectangle framelits. So actually I'm not getting any comments here. Hold on. There we go. Sorry. I still have my settings screen up. So this Amazing Life stamp set specifically goes with the stitched or the rectangle stitched framelits. So I am going to use 3 of those today. You could totally make this card without using the framelits, but I'm a little bit obsessed with the framelits, and as I may have said before, if they don't carry over to the annual catalogue, which I know is already done and dusted, but if they don't carry over, I will be in a ball on the floor in Auckland crying and maybe screaming, going, why? But anyway, that's just me. Hey Adele, thank you for joining. So the card we're making with my custom pairs of blends, the Amazing Life stamp set and the rectangle framelits, is this little baby. So it's a little bit of I'll bring it in closer. It is a little bit of colouring, and as you can see, the Grapefruit Grove and the Tranquil Tide, they don't actually have paired friends in the Stampin' Blend range. So I will go through what colours, hello Kathy and welcome, I will go through what colours I thought worked best. I know Adele, and I was talking to one of the girls in demonstrator support last week, beginning of this week, I can't remember. And I said, seriously, if they do not carry over and they are so tight-lipped, they know what's in the catalogue. They've seen it. They've got the products. I'm sure they're in the office. Maybe I should just do a surprise visit to the office. No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't want to put the girls in that position. That would be unkind. But anyway, you could, as I said, you can totally do this card without the rectangle framelits, but I just love the touch of detail that it adds, and I have used no extra embellishments on this. It's just the stamps, paper, colouring, and the rectangle stitch framelits. So what I'm going to do, I do have everyone home. I don't need to close the door today because it's already closed. Hello Sheila, thank you so much. I'm so glad you can watch me live. I've just dropped the dog at the groomer. Not that she needs grooming, but she's shedding like anything at the moment because of the change of seasons. And yeah, hopefully they do a nice de-shed. And my black interior of my car is not covered in blonde dog hair. Where are we road tripping to, Adele? Just before I go. I know I'm road tripping soon. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Well, less than 2 weeks, actually. It might be 2 weeks today. It might be 14 days today. Because I leave on the 10th and today's the 30th. No, it's less than that. I have so much to do. But anyway, I digress. Let's flick you girls around. As good, I haven't pressed anything weird so far. Let's see how we travel here. I think I have everything out. I will flick my screen back so we're not... yes, it is. You do time travel when you visit me to the future. To the future. Right. Yay! Now, I will pop here the stamp set, and I've lost the card. No, I haven't. Here's the card. Yes, yes. I will go turn off my light and I shall be back. And for some reason, before I sit down, my second screen was on quiet mode, but I fixed that now. Yes, the SU office girls are rather amazing breed. They are very good to us. Yes, so right here, right now, it is 1:22 in the afternoon. So I'm going on a bit later than what I normally do, but we had appointments this morning and I wanted to wait until the dog was dropped off. So then I didn't have to rush through. Not that I generally rush, but sometimes I feel a little rushed. So I'm going to start. I have all my stamps mounted here. I'm going to put the rectangle stitch framelits to the side for a second, and I sort of have a partially made card here so I can reference it for you, especially this piece. So I'm going to start with our cake. I have our Whisper White cardstock. Now this is the perfect cardstock to use our Stampin' blends on, and that is because of its super smooth texture. Sorry. And for our alcohol markers, the best ink to use is the Memento Tuxedo Black. And if you do want any of the products and you live in Australia and you don't have a demonstrator, please feel free to check out my online store. So I have just very simply stamped that out. I will give that a minute or so to dry because it needs to be dry. Otherwise you will smear it because it's not dry, not because of the alcohol markers. So we've just used this image here. I'll bring in the Stampin' blends we are using, and we have this here for a reference. Thank you so much for sharing, Elfie. Hey, Gail. So we are using mint macaron for our second tier of our cake. So we do have a mint macaron light and dark. That works well. We have our colour lifter, and that's for when, I do say when, I go out of the lines, because we all know that's going to happen and I freely admit it. So that is there. So to recreate, and I'll put my finished card just over here for reference, to recreate the Tranquil Tide, I have pulled out my dark Call Me Clover, which is a real true green, and then the light shaded spruce. Now the light shaded spruce, as you can see from the colorings here, is a bit more of a blue-green, which the Tranquil Tide actually is. So those together, as you can see here and here, blend pretty well with the Tranquil Tide. So I was happy with that. And to get our Grapefruit Grove, we don't have Grapefruit Grove in our blends. I got light Pumpkin Pie and I got light Cajun Craze. So that is how I've done it. Now, these blends have two ends, just like our Stampin' Right markers have two ends, but these actually have alcohol ink in them, or an alcohol-based ink, where our Stampin' blends have a water-based ink that is exactly the same ink that is in our stamp pads. Right, now I've got that out of the way. So we have our nice brush end, but because we are working on a smaller surface, that brush end for me is just going to go everywhere and it's not going to be pretty. So I'm going to use our bullet end, and I am pretty much going to work top to bottom. So actually it really doesn't matter. So for me, there are a couple of ways of colouring with your Stampin' blends. You can go light to dark or dark to light. I like to go dark to light, but I'm a little more conservative about where I'm putting the dark, because I can always add more if required. So what I want is, this cake is very one-dimensional at the moment. I want it to look three-dimensional. So what I want is my shadows on the sides of the cake to make it look round. So I'm seeing, basically what I'm seeing is my light source being right down the middle of the cake, which will where the shine and the lightness will be. So that when you're colouring, that's what you want to think of, is where your shadows are. Now for these bits, I am not using a circular motion, but it would be a good idea too, but I'm not currently. I will go in with the circular motion with my lighter colour. So I am going to take, so I just used my light Cajun Craze. I'm now coming in with my light Pumpkin Pie, and I am literally colouring over that join. And I'm not worrying about how many layers I put down, but I am wanting to keep that middle section white for the moment. So we are having to do a touch extra work to do the blending between the two colours, because they're not actually designed to go together. Now I'm really happy with how that's blended. I've just done it slowly and in circular motions, and then just with one layer I am going to go through that middle. Now looking at this, I may just want to go back in with my darker one and darken up these edges. Now this is the good thing, because these are alcohol based, we can go in with more colour and not be peeling the paper, because we're not actually adding water as such. I think I'm happier with that. So the thing about the alcohol markers, and I'll show you here, is they soak right into the cardstock. So you do want to be working on a messy mat. Hello, Miss Lorraine Elder. Thank you for the follow on YouTube just before I went live. So I've done the top tier. Oh, while I'm here with these colours, I am also going to colour in the flame. Now the flame is so tiny. I'm just going in with the light. And I will, so that's the light Pumpkin Pie, going in with the light Cajun Craze, because this is my custom colour, and popping it in. I love colouring with these. I have a lot of fun, and I love the smoothness of colour that you can get. Oh, hey, Donna. Oh, Donna, you haven't missed much. You haven't missed much at all, but you can go back afterwards and watch a replay. So what I think I might do now is to go onto my mint macaron layer. I am using very simply dark and light mint macaron because they exist in our Stampin' blends. I'm going to use the bullet end for the dark part, and for this one, because we have a bit of a larger space to work with, I think I'm just going to go in with my brush end. But I like using the bullet end because it gives me a bit more control, and I don't have to bend, the nib doesn't bend as much. So I'm going in with the brush end now, and again I'm just starting on that very edge in very small, because I'm working in a small area, circular motions, just to blend that, to blend the dark and the light. And then I'm just going down the middle, and I think I want to go in once again with just a touch more dark, just to give that, and just to give that definition. And as you add the layers of colors, you are making it darker. So 2 layers of dark mint macaron are going to be darker than a single layer. Hopefully that makes sense. Just go over a little bit. Don't want to lose my light in the middle. I'm very happy with that. Haven't gone out of the lines too badly. This colour will be my kryptonite because it's a darker colour. So we are using dark Call Me Clover and light shaded spruce. So these 2 colours are probably the most far apart on the spectrum. So I will need to do a little more work to make them work. I am just using the brush end because we do have a slightly bigger area to work with. So I'm probably only going to go to there, but as you've seen with the other tiers, I can go back in with the dark and add more if I wish. So I'm going right over that edge, really working it, because this shaded spruce is a blue-green. I really am trying to make that tranquil tide colour right here. So just going in very, very small circular motions. Just going back up to the edge there. I'm really happy with these blends, and then across the top and down. Let's see. I am actually really happy with that layer. Just one little touch of white there. Great. I will show you a bit of a close-up. Oh, what I want to do, actually, I'll use a bullet end, and I want to candy stripe this just with a dot of colour. So I'm going to use the light shaded spruce, and I'm going to go back in with the dark mint macaron to colour coordinate it all. Oops, got out the wrong end, but it will do perfectly. So the candle is now coloured, the flame's coloured, I've got the tiers. So I have gone out of the lines. Happy to help. I really was just sitting here going, so you can see it lighter up how I've given it the illusion of being straight. Now I have gone slightly out of the line at the bottom, and I am going to show you how I clean that up. And you can see the color saturation here on the cake, and you can see it's actually most saturated where I have gone over those between the dark and the light colors. So I'm going to take, this is called a color lifter, but you can see from this little spot here what it actually does. It does partially color lift, but mostly what it does is push the pigment of the ink into the cardstock so it's not on the surface. And I'm just going along this edge, and this is a brand new color lifter because my other one was very dry. So I'm just pushing that into the cardstock. Now you can see it's wet, and I'm okay with that because it dries clear. But you can see now on the back I have this line where I have pushed that color through. So hopefully you can recognize that. Okay, so that is my colouring done. When I post this project, hopefully tomorrow, I will link and write down the custom colours that I used. But just before, I need to show you a bit of a shameful secret of mine that Stampin' Up have just fixed. But we used light pumpkin pie and the light Cajun craze to create, and the colour will come to me, Grapefruit Grove. And for the Tranquil Tide, which is one of our outgoing in colours, we are using shaded spruce and light shaded spruce and dark Call Me Clover. Now, I'm going to be a really good girl, and I'm going to put these away. And this is my bit of a shameful secret, because I have purchased the whole set. Hello, Miss Samantha Haynes, how are you? Because I do own the whole set of Stampin' Blends, and I did have them in our wood mount cases originally, and I think I would have showed that somewhere along the line. I've graduated just to this storage container that I had. And when I was trying to find these individual colours that I've used last week, I'm here rummaging through going, I can't find them. But Stampin' Up on the 1st of April are bringing out storage, which is amazing. And it's desktop storage. And I do have a picture. I loaded a picture a couple of days ago of what it looks like, and they have a storage solution for this. So guess who's buying the stamping storage? Me. So perfect for my blends. I've rigged it up so it fits great with my desk, and I just need to jig a few things around. I'm very excited, but it is available to demonstrators and customers all on the 1st of April. So very, very excited about that. And then this box can retire to be something else in my craft room, because of course I had to buy it because it was purple. So next I'm going to bring in my Big Shot, and I'm going to use my stitched shaped rectangles. And because this amazing Life stamp set actually coordinates with the stitch shaped rectangles, it fits perfectly. So let me bring my Big Shot over. Oh, actually before that, I will work out the other ones I need. So let me check what ones I need. I need that one, which has to be my most used one because it's already buckled, because the amount of times it's been through my Big Shot, but that's okay. And the next one down, that one. Awesome. So I have my pieces of paper here. I don't know why I have this lone piece of paper on my desk, because I'm not using it for this project. Stamp set over there, dies over here, paper there. Right, all sorted. Oh, I don't think you guys have seen this big shot on video because my other ones... Yes, exactly, Sheila, exactly. And I didn't want to be... My issue when they started releasing more of the Stampin' blends was that I didn't want to be opening multiple boxes on my desk. Oh, they so are, Philomena, absolutely. I didn't want to be opening multiple boxes on my desk because that took up a lot of real estate on my desk. So that's why I went to one larger box. Now don't move. Everyone please pray that that does not move on me. So my largest one, I'm going to see if I can do all of these at the same time. I'm not going to be able to. I'll do it in 2 passes. So we have this one. And I'm going to use my sandwiching technique. So pop this in on an angle, sandwich it down and put some pressure on it and hold it down. Hello, Miss Jenny. Thank you for joining. You've just missed my custom colouring with the Stampin' blends to create some colours that don't exist with the Stampin' blends. Pop those over there, do my Grapefruit Grove. It has been sprinkling all morning here, but of course because I decided to do a load of washing and throw it through the dryer, it is now a beautiful afternoon. But that's okay. And of course we had to go out this morning and not this afternoon. Will this work? Yep, that didn't move an inch. Hello, Margaret. Thanks. Just cranking through the big shot here. And all this crunching and cranking is very normal. So if your big shot does that, it's doing the right thing. Oh, nice. I did not get that stamp set, Jenny. Sort of not down my road. I'm not a country floral kind of girl, but that's just me. But I did do some fun colouring that is coming out in the next week or so for the Stampin' Up Colour Challenge. I actually cracked open my my watercolour paper yesterday. You should have seen the moths fly out of it. No, I'm kidding. I haven't played with my watercolour paper for a while. Although I did, I lie. I did, but I used my brusho with it the other week. But this was actually me using our ink on it to colour. So I might have to show you how I did that watercolour background and create a different card. Some fun colours, some colours that you wouldn't use with this stamp set. But I'm leaving you in suspense. I think I can happily throw out that piece of paper. Thank you for your service. I have to say that to my paper because I know I could keep it, but I have so many scraps that I just like to thank it. What am I going to use? Going to use my snips just to grab out this paper, because if I do this now, then when I go to do it next time, come on, let's see if I can grab that tiny end, because I probably can't. Aha, gotcha. Just pull slowly so it all comes up. That was me yanking it inappropriately. Right. Now this one, because it's bent, I do like to pop it down the opposite way so I get a bit more surface area on the magnet. Okay, those are away. I have nice scrap that I can use later. I have our mint macaron card base. Did I do that right? Yes, and get these edges perfect, or not perfect, it as good as one can. Give this a nice crease so the card stands up nicely. Okay. Where's my original card so you girls can see what I'm doing here? Now I have two pieces to do because in class I lost a piece of, I lost my cake, so I didn't actually stamp the sentiment, and the sentiment is life is too short to say no to cake. So I'm going to stamp both my pieces. Now, Kathy, this is what I got a t-shirt. It's okay, we have already put together this one. This is a stamp set, a stamp that likes to pop apart. I will not be showing you how to put it together because I always have to go and watch someone else's YouTube. But that's okay. So these colours, this does not happen with our new ink pads, and that's amazing. Stamp on a scrap piece of paper first, just to make sure that's all good. Yes, it is. So I got a lovely sleeveless shirt that had, or that has, because I still own it, that has an amazing floral pattern on it. And this is where I got the inspiration from. These colours are directly in this shirt. So it's Mint Macaron, Tranquil Tide, and Grapefruit Grove. I've used quite a lot of Grapefruit Grove recently. Okay, leave that there. Perfect, done. I think I'm just going to pop this off to the side. Oh, actually, I think I remember how to do it. Got it. Now I've just got to push it back in. Push it back in. Push it back in. No, maybe I don't have it. Maybe I don't. But it's not going to pop open on me. I'll watch a video later. Yes, I have ink on my hands. Nothing new there. Right, now we're up to assembling, and I am going to show you the card without this corner stamping because I just want to show it to you. And as I said earlier in the video, these layers that I have used the stitch rectangles on, you do not need to do. And you could keep it really simple and just use plain layers. Okay, there are my stamp pieces, so I don't use them. Oh, I do. I really do. I live my life in colour. I was talking with my son earlier this morning about Lego and how he likes to store it. And he likes to store it in piece size. Where for me, as a mum, I want them to store it in colour. But that doesn't work for them, which I totally understand. It doesn't stop it from hurting my brain. So this Tombow glue is actually on its last legs, and I have blocked the top of it, which is why I'm using the wide end. But just in case you didn't know, our Tombow glue has a wide end and the fine tip at the top. Just in case. Yeah, I do too. Like this top is Calypso Coral. Calypso Coral and Whisper White. This is a new edition for the changing seasons. I'll even show you how close to Calypso Coral it is. If I can find, or maybe it's a bit darker. But I think Calypso Coral stamps darker than the actual colour here. Now I can't get it back. But that's okay. Right, I told it who was boss and it's back now. So do you guys like your Stampin' Blends? Do you forget about them? Do you think that will change if you use the Stampin' Blends storage, that you'll reach for them a bit more? Just asking questions because I'm interested to know other people's thoughts. I always make a conscious decision when I'm colouring in something. It's conscious and considered about which colouring medium I want to use and why, because we've got our Stampin' Right markers. I can watercolour with our ink and an aqua painter. I can use a blender pen. I can also use, what else? I can use a blender pen, or I can use our watercolor pencils. So there's lots to actually choose from. Now, I did put, I swear, no, yes. Now I put out, I put out dimensionals. And they have gone, they've run away. They're definitely not over here in my spinner. Are they on the floor? Ah, yes, they're on the floor. When in doubt, look at the floor. I will grab them in a second. Okay, I finally picked them up. Yes, and in my case, as you can see, it will save a whole lot of time. So flip. Actually, it's amazing the difference in the amount of ink I've used between these two cakes. Very interesting, but it doesn't matter. I like both results. And this is the back. But if you did want a soft, sometimes the back of your colouring pieces have a totally different look to the front, and it's equally beautiful. Just something to think about. Yeah, I do like a good bit of organisation, Philomena, and my organisation, there are bits and bobs that aren't working for me currently. Okay, so just using two because this is the smallest rectangle. Now, I'm going to ask you to vote in a second to whether I stamp the corner piece. Oh, where did all that crud come from? Whether I stamp the corner piece or whether I leave it blank. Because the corner piece is just, where is it here on the stamp set? It is just this tiny piece up here. I love all the sentiments in this set. I know I've harped on about this stamp set a lot. It wouldn't have been something that I bought, but we did receive it at on stage. And I went, yeah, that'll be useful. I cannot believe how much I have actually used it. Okay, there is one there. So that is the card without our corners. Do you like it with or without? I didn't put that on the sheet. Better put that away. I didn't notice that on the desk in front of me. I noticed it on the screen. You love the corner stamp, Philomena? One, I think I'm going to leave one plain. But just interested to know. I think it gives it just that finishing little touch. And this one here. And that is, well, I stamp with. Okay. See, this one, it does just add something because, as I said, it's quite a simple card. Hello, Joanna. Sorry, I didn't see you. Without for a guy, with the gal. That is a good way to explain it, Sheila, because this is quite a neutral colour palette. It's not masculine nor feminine. I like that. That's very good. Now, neither of these have my sticker on it, and if you are giving cards to loved ones or anyone else, you should have your details on the back, because you never know when someone will want you to make a card. At the moment, I have got a customer who wants me to make a wedding card for them. She said, oh, I don't have a wedding stamp set, and look, I could have given her a wedding stamp set to use, but I know how time poor she is. Mind you, we're all time poor. And I said, that's okay, I'll make one for you. And I happen, in my little unfinished project and need to finish, I actually had a discarded card base that I have. I'll show you. I have a discarded card base that I'm going to build a wedding card off. This is the Floral Phrases, and I have to say that very slowly, otherwise I can't say it. The Floral Phrases stamp set, which is actually a bit of a thank you and a wedding stamp set. It's very simple. I like it a lot. So I'm going to, that might be my next project when I'm off here. And I don't need these for my sample box. So I'm going to pop them straight in, because if you guys saw my sample box at the moment, oh, it's overflowing. I'm going to put them in the medium clear envelopes, and that's how I keep them clean, because there are always inky fingers around. That's how I keep them clean. And then they are weatherproof in the envelope, because it's very sad how many blank cards I have received, or partially blank cards, because the mail has got wet at some stage during the process of me to them. Now, if I was my Stampin' chamois, because I'm still getting withs or withouts, so I'll keep reading your comments while I just clean up my stamps. So these are my two Stampin' chamois. I actually do have another one up there, just for class purposes. So I like to just stamp this straight down on my dirty side. I'm going to get the corners of my block while I'm there. Then on the cleaner side, I am going to give it a bit of a twist to get in all the nooks and crannies. Now this one shouldn't be too bad. The Memento ink transfers off these photopolymer stamps like a dream, and it doesn't stain, which I like as well. So that is everything cleaned up. I'll even put it away. This is a new high for our videos. Ellen actually cleans up. My craft desk was a bomb when I walked in here this morning, because I'm designing, or last night I designed some cards for a swap later in April. I'm actually getting ahead of myself, and I just went, no, I'll go and watch some telly and deal with the children, and didn't come back and clean it up. The chamois is an amazing tool, and I find I do hear I'm always shedding my hair into my stamp sets. It is a great tool. It is specially designed though for our photopolymer stamp sets, and the Stampin' Mist and the Stampin' Scrub are designed for our wood sets. I find if I use my photopolymer stamp sets in the Stampin' Scrub, I discolor the whole stamp, because it holds a lot of excess ink, where if I use the chamois, I don't. And that stamping motion to get the excess ink off, and then just me doing the twisty motion after that, actually stop spreading the ink and them being stained. But they're still useful when they're stained, like this one. I've used StazOn on it and it is stained, but it's perfectly useful stamp. So thank you girls for popping in Friday night, Saturday morning, or if you're on the replay any other day of the week. If you want me to show you anything in particular, drop me a line, and I am happy if I have that and I have the skill to do that. I'm more than happy to show you something in particular. I still have a couple of videos. I always have a video up my sleeve because my I need to use up box is getting quite full from my most recent cleanup of my desk. So I might start to delve back into that box. I will be back next week, hopefully on Tuesday. And you guys have a lovely couple of days. Bye.